I wonder what I'm doing in the middle of nowhere. So this is actually part of the intro to Off-Grid Ranch. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. We have 0.6 of a mile to clear and fix the roadway just to get to our property, and another 0.6 to get where we actually want to build something. So stay tuned. We'll walk you into the property and show you as we do the intro for Off-Grid Ranch. So while we're doing this cool trek down this 0.6 of a mile walk, yay. Cool history about it. I'll just kind of clue you guys in. There's actually a pretty hard base to this, and that's because back in 1900, this was a railroad spur. So this was a little side of the railroad going right to the property where they logged it back in 1900. And this little railroad section is still here to this day. So come on, follow me in. Let's go. Oh yeah. And we also have to watch out for rattlesnakes, copperheads, cottonmouth, pygmy rattlers, pine rattlers, all the fun stuff. Yay! I ordered snake boots.
But didn't get me any.
Well, that's because you're always second. I'm the first one on the scene. Right, so,
Left out in the cold as usual.
so this is actually pretty cool. This is like going up in here. We do have to finish cleaning the ditches that have been neglected for probably 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, something like that. So we're going to clean them up, get everything going. We got to re-put the culvert in. Culvert's been damaged by some kids out here in side-by-side rooting. Which, you know, when I was a kid, we went mudding too and had fun, but I don't ever remember tearing someone's property up so bad. So yeah, we got 3 spots we got to put culvert in. Technically, by the time we're done, there will be 5 spots of culvert just to get it just right. So yeah. You always know when we're getting close to the property because there's a little turnaround spot up here. And it's pretty amazing that this is rock hard 100 and something years later for my little railroad. Literally up here, veers to the left, goes right to the property. So we're literally walking where a railroad's been here for 120 years. How cool is that? So as much as we're trekking in there, you'd swear we're like trekking into some remote place like in Alaska. But we're only about 30 minutes outside of town.
But it's surrounded by how many acres of forest?
38,000.
38,000 of uninhabited woods. I'd say that's pretty remote.
Get her into the property. Drive past part 316 stuff down. And we'll walk over there. Now, this is where you got permission to film. Alright, so we're finally on the property. and there was a fire on here a few years back and stuff like that, so we have a few trees we have to kind of thin out that have died from the fire, and we have to get our tractor going because over here to the left, as you can see, there's a lot of little brush stuff, and we're just going to we're going to keep all the pine trees. We're just going to bush hog around it and stuff, get that all cleaned up. And of course, right here on this path, this is actually a little path to the very back of the property, so of course we have to bush hog this. You can see it's not been maintained in years and everything. And then to the right, you can still see some of the charring on some of the pine trees, but they seem to be recovering pretty good. So that's okay. We had a hurricane not about a year and a half ago, and then we had another hurricane not too long after that, actually. I think it was like within like 4 to 6 months we had a secondary one, or the following year we had another one. So yeah, we had a couple of trees. It looks like they snapped off in the top, but other than that, this is acres of this little bit of brush stuff that we have to just kind of bush hog. We got an old Ford 8N. That poor thing is just going to be put to the test. It's been sitting for almost 30 years. We just got it kind of running. We have to get another carburetor. The China-made junk carburetor just couldn't handle it. So we got a couple little things. We're going to switch from the points to electronic ignition, put a new radiator in it, all the other stuff to kind of get it as good as it can be for being from 1952. But that's what we've got, and it can bush hog. It's only going to be doing 4 foot at a time, so it's going to take a few weekends out here bush hogging, but I can't wait to get this kind of cleared and show you guys. So this is part of Welcome to Off Grid Ranch, the intro. It's 165 acres out in the middle of nowhere. You hear that? That's right, you don't hear anything. There's no neighbors. There's like 35, 36, 38,000 acres somewhere around us. How cool is that? Nearest neighbor is, I think, 0.7 of a mile away. And then the next nearest neighbor is like a couple miles away. After that, there's not really any neighbors anywhere around. So anyways, you might wonder what the channel is going to be about on Off Grid Ranch. As you guessed it, we're going to be a ranch. We're going to raise sheep out here. We're going to be off-grid, 110%. So we're going to clear out a whole bunch of stuff up in here, take out all the trees that have been killed by the fire. We're going to leave the ones that are alive and growing. And we're going to do a camper out here first, a couple shipping containers probably right beside it and stuff. And then we're going to build like a pole barn over top of the camper to keep it out of the sun. Everything will run eventually off of a sine inverter with a big battery bank. We're probably going to get a light plant, or we're going to get a generator and do the midnight kid and have everything kind of run off the battery, so as the battery voltage goes down, it'll kick on and kind of top off the batteries. So then we're going to do a nice solar grid out here, so I'm kind of excited about that. And we're going to do a couple ponds. We're going to figure out what we're going to do. I want to do a couple 1 acre ponds, and of course we're going to have the sheep out here. We're going to grow palm trees, and we're going to do honeybees.
Goats.
We're not doing goats. We're going to have lots of chickens, but we're also going to have to watch everything because we have lots of predators out here. There's bobcats, there's hawks, there's eagles. So we do have to watch all that. So last weekend while I was out here, I did run across a nice size cottonmouth. Stepped over a little water puddle. Of course, wherever there's frogs, there's always snakes. He let me know he was there too. All he saw was the white of his mouth open like that, and he come right at me. I was like, yo buddy. So anyways, I decided to go ahead and order some snake boots. So we're going to do a little bit of everything out here. We're going to do product reviews on everything we do out here and show you guys what works, what doesn't work, what electric fence we use, how to protect the bees from the bears and other predators, how we're going to protect our crops out here from all the little, critters. You got rabbits, possums, raccoons, lots of deer, I mean, did I mention lots and lots of deer? Actually, this is the first time we walked in and we didn't have deer go traipsing off and jumping across from us. So it's a little bit of everything. We got to put a fence up. This property's never had anything on it, so we are the first ones in. We're going to do a well ourselves. We'll do the solar ourselves, and we're going to get a portable sawmill, and we're going to cut our own lumber. Now, as you see, there's not a lot of big trees on here, so we're not going to be getting the lumber here. We also are a tree service, so we will bring home lots of pine and oak logs and maple and stuff here to the ranch, and we will cut it ourselves. We will make our own little pole barn for the sawmill. We'll make a little pole barn set up for all the drying of the wood and storage of the wood, and then we're going to build a little cabin by hand. So we got a couple of styles of cabins we're going to do. We're actually going to build a cabin just like our forefathers did right here on the property, which, you know, might become a little like, you know, man cave. But otherwise, you know, we are going to do one of those. But we're going to do a modern cabin out here, and with, you know, solar and everything, but it's going to be, you know, just kind of out here, very private, pretty cool. Now, we will probably do the Starlink for internet because that'll be our biggest expense monthly. Other than that, the solar, you know, once we get it set up, it'll supply with all the power we're going to need. The battery bank's going to be kind of expensive. The inverters we're going to use, all the solar chargers, all that is going to be, you know, that's our initial expense. But other than that, I really can't wait to get out here and get this done. I can't wait to get the track hoe out here, clean some of the ditches, get the bush hog out here, and really get to see the beauty of the property. So, you know, we got a couple of little fields on the other side of this little bushy stuff right here. And then it's pretty much as far as you can see all the way back. There's a giant opening. So a mile and a half down the, maybe 2 miles, the river's over there, which actually was pretty historic back in the day because they used to float logs down there to the port back when they logged Mississippi back in the early 1900s. So we will end up getting a nice little path through the woods. So you know, we can go down there on the four-wheelers or the side-by-side, so that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I can't bring the camper in yet because the ruts the kids did in here on side-by-sides or something, whatever it was, had to be on 38s or 44s because they made some ruts like you wouldn't believe. So we have to fix all that. Looked like there was a couple culverts in there that had collapsed over time. So we have to refix all that, and we got our work cut out for us. You know, the next couple of months is going to be ditch work, dirt work, road work, culvert work, and lots of bush hogging, just so we can get the camper in here. Yay! So there's no bringing logs in here right now because we can't get into the property. We can't get the portable sawmill in here yet. We can't get the shipping containers in here yet.
Can't even get the Jeep in here yet.
So yeah, it's those ruts are pretty bad. If we came in here right now with our little vehicle that's sitting up on like 32s, we would dock so fast it's not even funny and just be spinning. So we got our work cut out for us. But stay tuned and hopefully subscribe, and you will get to see from start to finish. I don't know if we'll ever be finished, but definitely as we go on Off-Grid Ranch, from building the ponds to when we get different pieces of machinery like a Maruca, the dump trucks we use, the track hoes we use, the loaders we use, the dozer we end up using. I already have a little John Deere 350B, way too small for really what we planned on doing. So we, the little 350B can kind of, you know, do all the road work and stuff. So it's got a pretty wide blade on it, but really I'm looking to get something like a 650, somewhere around there. Should do everything I've got to do out here on the property. As long as it's got at least a 5-way blade on it so I can actually kind of grade the pond as we do. We're going to do a pretty neat pond with a gazebo in the center, so we'll do some bulkhead construction around it and kind of set it up. We got a surprise for that. I'm not going to kind of reveal that yet. I'm just going to show you guys as we do it, and then you'll see how I do the gazebo and why. So lots of work, lots of videos coming up.